I see you, Anna Maria. I see you, Roy. I see Pierre from Hong Kong. Yay. Let's see who else I see. I see Anne from Utah. Marie. Marie, where are you? In Florida, right? Is that right? Yeah. I think so. See if I remember. Hannah from Germany. Patrick from Connecticut. Just shouting people out. I think there are more people coming in. Let's see who else. Benjamin. Where are you, Benjamin? Is it Texas? Is that right? No, Mexico. No, Texas. No, sorry, I got it wrong. Chile. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't guess, but I don't have the list. That's all right. You know what? Oh, I see Heather from Australia. Claudia. Claudia, you are from Kenya. Is that correct? Thumbs up? Correct. Yes. Walter from Taipei. I see you, Mauricio. Hi. Mauricio, where are you from? Put it in the chat. Beth, I see you. Let's see. Who did I not call out? Oh, I think now it's like 2 pages. Matt, I see you, Matt. Natalie, I see you. Catherine, hi. Michaela? And Patrick. Tess, hi Tess. There's still more people emitting. This is so exciting. Soleil, is that how you say your name? Is it Soleil? Did I get it right? Is that correct? Soleil, yeah? I'm sorry in advance if I say your name incorrectly. You guys are gonna have to let me know. Okay, I think that's a lot of us. Now, how do I go back to my camera? Okay, here we are. Okay, awesome. So, are you guys settled? Should we get started? Thumbs up? Awesome. So, okay, so we have a very exciting 6 days, and I'm so happy that you're all joining me literally from all over the world. It's so exciting, and like it's so exciting to know the power of the internet, how it can connect all of us from literally every single continent, except for Antarctica. So if someone finds a cellist from Antarctica, send them over, then we will have every single continent, right? So that's really exciting. And I'm just gonna go over the schedule. I already sent you the schedule, just so that you guys know how it's gonna play out the next 6 days. So every day we're gonna focus on a specific technique, the first hour or so. And then the second hour, many of you have already signed up for masterclass. So now this is going to be interactive. So at first I may talk a little bit, but then I'm going to ask you guys questions, and then you guys can ask me questions. So just be sure that you prepare all your burning cello questions so that you can ask me. And if I have an answer, I'll give it to you. Okay, so today, day 1, we're going to focus everything about the right hand, the bow, all the bow technique, and we'll try to cover as much as we can. Now, bear in mind, one thing that's really important is that we're all from different levels of playing, and that's totally fine, because I think that everybody can take away something, and even if you're still like at the very beginner stage of playing the cello, you will have this video, so when you get to more advanced, you can learn and come back to this video and learn more. And yeah, so just bear in mind, don't feel overwhelmed if you don't get absolutely everything. Okay, so that's today bow technique, and then we'll have masterclass probably about the second hour or so. And then tomorrow we are going to do left hand technique and focus on intonation and shifting. and then just anything left hand related. So if you have left hand questions, you can email me tonight and I will try to answer them tomorrow. And then third day is very exciting. We have my colleague and amazing friend Tahira coming in, and she's amazing. She's now in Chicago, based in Chicago, but we grew up together. We went to high school together, and we went to college, and then we went to Juilliard together. And she now plays in the very famous musical Hamilton in Chicago. So have you guys heard of the musical Hamilton? Give me a thumbs up if you have. Yeah, many of you have, right? I haven't seen it yet because it's hard to get tickets in New York City, but it'll be very interesting to hear her experience, what it's like to perform in that famous musical, like every night. That's a very interesting, I think, lifestyle. And I have never done musicals, so I'll be very interested to talk to her. And then, of course, she will also answer any cello-related question. And she will co-teach the master class on Wednesday. Okay, so then the fourth day is all about vibrato and sound production, how to have a nice sound. So we'll talk about that. And the fifth day, Friday, we'll talk about some tension release and effective practice technique. And last day, Ani's coming in, and many of you have already sent me the folk project, and if you haven't, I've been like emailing you every day. I'm like, where's the folk project? So please send it to me if you haven't, because I would love to feature as many of you as possible. And but I've gotten a few, and it's very nice. I love it. I love how everybody's sending in their own culture and their own music from their country. So I love that. And Ani is also going to talk about some rehearsal and like concert prep and also performance anxiety issues. So we're covering a lot. So that's great. Okay, so actually before we move forward, I want to introduce you to two people. First, I think you may have heard her voice already, Lonnie. Lonnie is an amateur cellist, and
Hello.
there she is. And you hear her voice. She's basically going to be helping me with all the tech stuff. So if you guys have questions, and you can put it in the chat, and she'll see it, and then she'll let me know what the questions are later. So, and then if there's any issues, you just write her directly in the chat. Okay, so that's Lonnie. Lonnie, oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen my movie, my visual album, Pasión. Raise your hand if you did. Some of you, yep. So Lonnie is the filmmaker for Pasión. So maybe she'll show her face later. So that's the
maybe
first
later.
It's pretty early for her, and she's in Illinois. Okay, and then the other person I want to introduce you to is Ileana. Am I saying your name correctly? I'm not seeing her. Can you unmute yourself for 1 second, Ileana? Is she here? Oh, there she is. Am I saying your name correctly? Yeah, can you unmute yourself for 1 second? And so...
Yeah, here.
Okay, excellent. So Ileana, you're now residing in Costa Rica, am I correct?
Exactly.
Yes. So I know that quite a few Spanish-speaking people here. So if you don't understand something, you can put the Spanish speakers, please write in the chat, and Ileana will occasionally translate for you by chat. So can you translate that for a second in Spanish?
Sí, si alguno de los que habla español necesita ayuda y necesita traducción, me pueden decir, escribir por el chat y yo les traduzco por medio del chat también al mismo tiempo. Entonces, si hay alguien que necesita ayuda, me puede decir.
Okay, awesome. So everybody good? Spanish speakers good? Yes, I see thumbs up. Perfect. Perfecto. That's all I know. Okay, so now we took care of that. Okay, all right, so next thing is yes, just have a good time. My goal for this course is for us to have a good time and to connect cellists from all over the world. Like I said, I know some of you are maybe nervous to play in the master class, and you may have never performed for people before, and you're just not sure. We are all here. This is really important that we talk about this. We are all here to support each other. And it doesn't matter whether you're just learning how to play or you're very advanced. We can always learn from each other. So I want to make sure that we're all feeling comfortable and that we can share with each other. Yeah? Okay, so now, next step. Let's talk about a quick Zoom overview just to make sure that everybody knows how everything works. It seems like everybody knows, right? Pretty, yeah? Yeah, good. Does anyone know how to raise their hand on Zoom? Yeah, but I mean, you can actually raise your hand in the chat. Okay, so go to where it says, no, sorry, I think it's under participants. So click on that button in the bottom that says participants. You can raise your hand. Yeah, there you go. I see people raising their hands. Okay, if you have questions. Yep, exactly. Okay. Now, you should actually, because we're recording, we want to make sure that everybody's muted. Unless we're interacting and you may have questions or if you're playing for me. Otherwise, everybody please remain muted. Otherwise, we'll get weird feedback. And if possible, use, if you're playing, especially in the masterclass, if you have ear pods, those work great. If not, get a headphone like mine so that we don't get, again, just, I'm trying to maximize the sound quality through Zoom. So just try to always use your headphones when you're speaking or playing if you can, or earbuds, or just headset or something. That'll be extremely helpful. Leave your camera on. One last feature I want you guys to know about, I'm sure many of you do already. You can do the speaker view, which is on the right-hand corner if you're on a computer, or you can do the presenter view. So if you want to see everybody else, you can go to the speaker view, you can click on it, take a look, and if not, presenter view. Okay. All right, great. So now comes the super fun part, and we're just gonna spend maybe 5-7 minutes, and I'm gonna break you guys out in different rooms. I want you guys to get to know each other because this is a very special opportunity to meet all of us in the world. So here are the few things I would like you to do when you're in the breakout rooms. You're gonna have like maybe four people in one group. And so first of all, choose someone that will speak. Well, maybe I should sit down so that you can see me. So choose someone that will speak on behalf of the group so that you can report back afterwards. And while you have the group meeting, introduce yourself, where you're from, your name, and what you're hoping to learn, and also what you're most excited about the course. Okay? So again, let me just repeat the questions. Introduce yourself. Choose somebody in the group that will speak on behalf of the group later on. What are you hoping to learn in this course? And what you're most excited about. So I'm gonna give you a few minutes. I'm gonna do this breakout room thing. Let's see. Hope that it works. And then you guys can report back in a few minutes, or like 5 or 7 minutes. Does that sound good? Thumbs up? You can just give me a little, yeah, okay, awesome. Okay, so let's see if this works. I will randomly choose 4 participants per room. Here we go, you ready? So once I click on this, you guys have to click OK. Yeah? All right, here we go. Open all rooms. Okay. Hi. Are you in my breakout room? Can you guys unmute yourself? Benjamin, are you okay? You want to unmute yourself, Soleil? What, are you in the breakout room? Benjamin, are you okay? See some of you back. It's nice to see your face finally. I've been talking to you guys, but not matching the face with the person. Did you guys have enough time? Was it enough time? Yeah? Okay. So cool to see so many of you. Okay. So, who wants to start reporting? Group 1. Well, it doesn't matter which group. Just whichever group wants to have that representative to tell us about your group, a few things people want to learn. Marie, do you want to unmute yourself to talk? Or maybe Lonnie can help you unmute. There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Well, we had a very nice visit. It was Anne, and I forgot the other young lady's name. She's from Kenya.
Oh, okay. Claudia.
And, I'm sorry?
Claudia is her name.
Claudia, right. Claudia and Anne. And we got to introduce ourselves. And we're all at sort of different levels. Anne is probably the most experienced. She's taken cello through high school, college, and played for many years. And then I guess she just started taking lessons with you recently. And so she's trying to improve her technique and, meet other cellists. And she's probably the most advanced of all of us, I would say. And then we have Claudia, who's just started a year ago.
Wonderful.
And she's looking to get a lot out of the course and also improve technique and learn. Yeah. And I'm a student who started late in life, so I've been taking for several years. And I hope to get also out, improve my technique, meet other cellists, work more in vibrato, which is a sort of a weak point. And we're all from different areas. Anne's from Utah, Claudia's from Kenya, and I'm from Central Florida. So
wonderful.
We enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Next group, please. Who wants to go? Just unmute yourself automatically. Pierre. Can't hear you. Unmute yourself. There you are.
Hi. I think it's working now.
Yes.
Hi, Wendy. Really good to see you again. Hi. Okay, so 3 of us in the group. My name is Pierre, and I had Patrick and Ileana. Patrick is in Connecticut, and Ileana is in Costa Rica right now, I believe, but she's from El Salvador. I hope I'm not making a mistake there. So I'm the most recent starter. Patrick has played, I think, for 17 or 18 years, and Ileana has gone for a bachelor in music with some cello performing. So apparently she's quite advanced too. So yeah, we're hoping basically to get maybe a different perspective and some more unlocking of the finer points of our playing. And for me, I guess it'll be a bit like looking through the fire hose because I've only played for 2 years. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Pierre, you didn't say where you're from.
Sorry, I'm from France originally. Grew up in Canada partly, and now live in Hong Kong. So there we go.
Yeah, I met Pierre in Hong Kong actually, so that's pretty cool. All right, thank you, Pierre. Next group, please. Next group, just unmute yourself. Is anyone else going?
Okay, all good then.
Matt.
Yep.
Hi, Matt.
Hello, Wendy. Great to finally get to see you.
Yeah.
So, I was able to meet with a nice group. There were 3 of there were 3 of us, but then we had one other join. However, we were not able to hear them. But so I was able to talk to Hannah and Heather. Hannah is from Germany, and she actually started out on the violin. And she switched over to cello about 3-ish years ago. So she said the switch has been interesting. She said it's fun, but can be somewhat difficult at times with the switch. But yeah, she's looking to, improve upon technique and get better and more fluent and things like that. Then I also got to talk with Heather, who is from Australia. She said she has been playing since she was little, so she says she's a more of an advanced player
Mm-hmm.
and is again trying to get more of the get good tech and improve upon her technique and stuff like that as well. And then so I am from South Bend, Indiana. I've been playing for almost about 7 years now, and I'm really just looking to I'm looking to really improve on almost all areas and get more fluent as far as the cello goes. Improve upon technique and um, all areas really, just to become a better, more rounded cellist and be able to express myself more freely and be able to play a bit more freely.
Yes. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Matt.
Yeah.
Next group, please. Just unmute yourself. Theodore? I see him moving forward. Are you next, Theodore? There you are. Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me about your group.
We had 3 people in our group. One was from Taipei, I think.
Taipei, Walter, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one. I forgot where she was from. Yeah, she was from New York.
Uh-huh.
And Walter has been playing
Since when?
since he was 6.
He was 6, okay. And you?
And I started when I was 5.
Wow. Okay. And how old are you now?
I'm 12.
You're 12. Where are you located?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. This is early for you. Thank you for showing up. But this is the thing about like starting at 9 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, because I have to accommodate everybody. I know that like Heather in Australia, it's like 11:30 already, or what is it? Yeah, 11:30 p.m. for her. And then we have Los Angeles, which is what, 6:30 a.m. So thank you all for showing up at these hours. Okay, do we have more groups? We do, right? Anybody else wants to share? Natalie? Yeah? Hi, Natalie.
Hello. I got to meet some interesting people. I got to meet with Beth, who is in SoCal currently. She's been teaching for about 15 years.
Yeah.
She's just, trying to improve on her teaching skills and loves the cello, just like all of us. And there's also Tess, who lives in Pittsburgh, and she studied the cello in Boston. She teaches people from immigrant families, and she's working on her performance, her technique. Sorry if I hear her name wrong. Joy in Australia. It's almost midnight in her area. She's been working full time, and she's picked up the cello about 5 years ago. And she's like, just like all of us, hoping to build on the technique.
Yeah.
And I myself am in Kansas City currently. I started playing the cello when I was about 10 or 11 years old. I was going to go into performing, and then I kind of lost all hope and abandoned ship. I am starting to become a biologist, and I'm just picking the cello back up after a long break, and of course, love the cello. That was the theme.
Awesome. Now, just to check, am I saying your name correctly? Is it Roy? Can you give me a thumbs up? Let me make sure. Yes, thumbs up. So that's correct, Roy. Okay, I just want to make sure I say everybody's name correctly. So thank you so much for sharing, Natalie. Who's the next group? We have like a couple more groups and that's it. Someone else wants to share? I feel like I can't. Yeah, just unmute yourself, whoever wants to share. Or did we cover everybody? I feel like we didn't. Did we? What about Carla? Were you in a group? I didn't see Carla. Did you have a group? I feel like we covered everybody, I think. No, we didn't, did we? Mauricio, what about your group? Tell us, Mauricio, can you?
I think that this app needs you has me unmute everybody. So if you need to be unmuted, please just raise your hand so I can see.
Okay, who wants to be unmuted? To share. Mauricio raised his hand. Yeah. Can we unmute Mauricio, please?
Okay. Hi. I'm in the same group as Mauricio.
Oh, okay, wait, who is speaking right now? I can't see.
Michaela.
Oh, Michaela, hi.
Hi.
Yes, please.
Hi, Wendy.
Okay. Oh, there you are.
Yeah. So I got to meet with Mauricio and Catherine and Lena. And Mauricio is from Texas, Catherine is from Ontario, Canada, and Lena is from Colombia. And it sounds like she has a lot of animals in her house, so it was a little bit hard to hear her, but it was entertaining. So, but we all are at a little bit different levels. Mauricio is a senior in high school, and he's doing cello as a de-stressing hobby because he wants to go into political science, which makes a lot of sense.
Awesome.
Catherine is in grade 6, which is awesome, and we didn't get to hear what level Lena is at, but I am about to go into my last year of my bachelor's in cello performance, so. And we're all looking to get a different perspective on our playing and learn more about sound production and performance prep and technique and those sorts of things.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did I miss another group? Did I miss any group? Or anyone that has not shared? Raise your hand if I miss anyone, and then Lonnie will also help unmute. Or I covered everybody, right? Are we good? I think we covered just about everybody.
You didn't cover our group, but
Okay,
yeah,
Lonnie.
Anna Maria, did you wanna?
Okay, so Christy was from California,
Where's Anna Maria?
and
There you are. Yes.
so Christy was from California, and so it's like really early there right now. She's getting up really early, and she's been playing cello for like 5 or 6 years, and we all just kind of wanted to improve on like technique and stuff. And then Carla, she's from Albany, New York, and she also wants to like improve, but we're kind of like, it's really cool that we can do this online, but she's used to like being in like real classrooms.
Yeah. Like most of us, yeah.
Yeah, and then I've been playing cello for like 5 years, and I just want to improve on like technique.
Yes.
And Lonnie, she wants to like improve on technique and help out with
The class.
stuff in the class.
And Anna Maria, how old are you?
I'm 13.
Awesome. Okay, I think that's everybody. Am I correct? I didn't miss anybody, right? Lonnie, can you check the hands? Is that nobody? I didn't miss anybody.
No, looks like we are good.
Okay, well, thank you all so much for sharing. It's really great to hear about your background and your passion for cello and music. And it sounds like the common theme is that everybody just wants to improve and wants a different perspective and just also to connect with everybody. So it's really fantastic. So now we're gonna move into our lesson 1, bow technique. Everybody has the cello and the bow, right? Let me just move back to gallery view here so I can see as many of you as possible. Okay, so we're gonna go through as many things as I possibly can about right hand technique. Now, whatever I don't cover, you guys can ask. And if I have an answer, I'll give you an answer. If I don't, I'll tell you I don't know. So let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about bow grip. Okay, so obviously most of us know how to hold a bow already. And the way I like to talk about bow grip is that I like to think that everything that we do as cellists should be as natural as possible. Natural being that if anything looks bent, when you look at your hand, actually both hands, if anything that has a weird bend, and if you have any discomfort in your hand, tension, pain, that means that you're probably doing something wrong. So the way I like to teach bow grip or just your hand is that literally everybody just put your hand in the front like this without your bow. You can do your bow like on the other hand. Okay, so you see this right here? You see how this looks? Okay, so you see how your arm is like slightly bent like this, right? That's really as natural as you can get as a cellist. Okay, so we're just gonna put the bow in our hand. And that's your bow grip. It really is that simple. Okay, so now let's take a look at where the fingers go. So when I go like this, now a disclaimer, everybody's body is different. Okay, so whatever I'm sharing right now, obviously it works for my body and it will most likely work for your body, but you have to make necessary adjustment for you because you know, it's not like there's an absolute right way of playing the cello. If you go to a different cello teacher or a cellist, they may tell you something a little bit different. So you just have to make sure that this works for you. So that's my disclaimer. But for me, this works, and it seems to work for most cellists, is when you're totally natural with your hand, there's a slight bend over here, your hand is in front of you, and you just literally fit the bow into your hand. That's your bow grip. Now, usually what ends up happening is my middle finger is on top of the metal thing, my index finger on the black leather thing here, and then all the fingers just fall. And your thumb, let me turn around so you can see, your thumb is slightly bent like this. Can you see okay? Because I can't see myself anymore because I want to see you all. So I have the gallery view. So your thumb should be slightly bent and everything should look like that. Now, let me say, I know there are a couple of you, I feel like, that used to play the violin. Now, the violin bow grip is completely different. So, for example, the violin bow grip is a lot more this way. So they put their fingers on top. Okay, so cellists are totally different. I think actually in a way, being a cellist is much more natural. So this is the bow grip. That's how it looks. Does anyone have any questions so far? You can unmute yourself or type it in the chat and then Lonnie can tell me. That's pretty clear, right? So if anytime when you're playing, you know, if you start looking like this, you see what I'm doing? Like some people start holding the bow this way, and like sometimes, especially beginners, they might end up looking this. You see how this is not natural? You see what I mean by not natural, right? You see how this is unnatural? Because that's not how your hand is normally. That's how your arm and hand is normally. So that's how you can check. And I know I think a couple people, or at least one person I've talked to, they told me that they're self-taught. And so what you need to do is look in the mirror. Mirror is your best friend as a cellist. If you see anything strange like this, you know, like with the wrist sticking out, this way, this way, this way, then you know it's wrong. Is everybody clear? Lonnie, are there any questions? in the chat? Or everybody's good, right?
Everybody's good for now, yes.
Okay, excellent. So now let's talk.
Please make sure you do raise your hand. Use the raise your hand function if you have any questions for Wendy.
Yeah. Okay, so now next, let's talk about arm position, which is not so different from what we talked about, right? I told you it has to be a little bit bent. Now, I do see some cellists sometimes, they play like this. The arm is down, so what's wrong with this? This is not natural, is it? This is not natural. So it has to be what I call chicken wing, you know, chicken wing. So it has to have a certain amount of chicken wing. Heather, I see you smiling because I tell her chicken wing sometimes, right? Yeah. So like, right. So it has to draw the bow, and in terms of how you draw the bow, a lot of people think it comes from here, and it does. It's really a combination. I mean, your arm, everything is connected, right? So, but a lot of times, the bow's movement comes from right here, the elbow. So I want you guys, everybody, to imagine that there's an invisible string right here. As if you were the puppet. Somebody is pulling the string, pulling you this way with the string right here. So pretend there's a string, and you're a puppet, and somebody's pulling, and then moving back like this, right? Exactly. So I'm sure many of you are doing this correctly already. So it's really this movement. So yes, the movement comes from here, the hand, but also think of this invisible string. So when I talk about chicken wing is if it's too low, right, then you can't really pull. How are you going to pull like this? Your movement is restricted. But look. I'm pulling from here, and then also motion from here, and then when I get to the tip, I extend, right? I extend the arm. So everybody, let's do some D strings. Keep yourself muted so we don't hear everybody, but I want to see what you guys are doing, all right? So go ahead, let's do some D strings, and think about your hand position, right? And also think about how you're pulling your movement here on the arm. Keep going. I'm going to look on the computer and see if everybody is doing. But Kayla, can you pull your camera down? I can't see your arm. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Natalie, pull your camera down a little bit. Same thing, Pierre. Soleil, pull your camera down so I can see your arm, please. Mauricio, pull your camera down. Beth, also. Looks good. Catherine, yeah, I can't see your bow arm. Pull it down a little bit, please, for me. And Hannah, I can't see your... Yeah, adjust yourself. Thank you. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good, Tess. Marie? Yep. Uh-huh. Looks good. Everybody looks really good. Easy enough, right? Okay, great. Okay, so now, what's next? Now we're gonna do some fun exercises. So the next part is, we need to strengthen our hands. Raise your hand, just like your literal hand, if people work out, do strength training. Anybody? Some of you? I need to do some strength training because you need strong cello arms to play well, okay? So the same thing with your hands, you need to strength train. And there's some exercises. Actually, I made a video about some fun cello exercises. Did anyone see that? Like it was something like 6 fun cello bow hand technique or something like that. I don't know if anyone saw that video, but if you haven't, you can watch it later because I'm now going to give you live some of those exercises. But basically, your hand has to be strong because having strength in your hand is really going to help you. So, okay, so let's see if you guys can do this. So you're holding your bow like this, and you're going to swing it this way. Okay? Yep. So this is going to help train your hand for strength, but also it helps you in creating flexibility with your fingers, because when we play, like I said, it's not just the wrist, it's not just the arm, it's not just the elbow, it's not just the hand. It's a mixture of things to make the bow smooth. So sometimes we use fingers. Look what I just did, right? I want to play on a C string. I like to play a little bit lower like this, like bow downwards, so that I can, you see when I go like this, I don't know if you guys can see. When I go like this, you see how the bow is moving towards what? Downwards. Okay, so why do I want to do that? Because that was exaggerated. I wouldn't do that in real life. But why I want to do that is so that I can keep the bow close to the bridge. Now, the reason why I'm telling you this is if I were very good with this, okay, like I have the flexibility with the fingers, I just go boom. Look, you see what I just did? I just used my fingers so that I can point this way. So that's one situation where this is helpful besides strength training. So now let's do the swinging up and down. Same thing, you're training your pinky of your right hand. Can you guys all do it? Yeah, that's pretty good. Now use your fingers. Use your fingers for the movement. So now, you know, if you guys are like, obviously you're not going to have the bow with you all the time, so I suggest you use a pen. If you're watching TV, watching Netflix, you're bored, do that. You can do that, right? You're watching YouTube videos, you can use a pen also. Yep. So if it's too hard on the bow, start with a pen while you're watching Netflix. Or my YouTube videos, that's better. Yeah, watch my YouTube videos. Okay, thumbs up for good, right? Yes, good. One more. Who does push-ups? Anybody in real life? Yes? Really? Anna Maria? Really? Well, I should do more. But I do cello push-ups. Check it out. So put your hand here first, because that makes it easier. Now, we're going to use our fingers to do push-ups. Can you guys see okay? Like that. So what you have to do is push it all the way down. Yes, you don't use your finger to hold the bow so it's not as much weight yet. You see? Otherwise it's harder to do it like this. So just put your left hand finger here to hold the weight and then go like this. Now use your fingers to do the push-ups. So you see how much down I am? Like, look like this. Like this. Yeah, but hold the other hand. Anna Maria, hold it with the other hand. Yeah, like this. You see what I'm doing? Hold the weight, because otherwise it's hard. Lena, you okay? Yep, like that. Exactly. Okay, everybody got that, right? So now let's try it without. That's hard, right? That's pretty hard without the weight. So, what situation are you going to use this for? Sometimes, like, look, I'm using a mixture of wrist and fingers here for something quick like this. Quick string crossings. And by the way, string crossings should always happen here, this part of the bow. So not the middle, but maybe here. So you guys try doing this with your fingers only. So it's like this, you're doing push-ups, right? But then you're moving your arm. Yep, I'm seeing everybody doing it. Okay, Marie, put your bow over here. At more at the tip, because it's really hard to do at the frog like this. That's right, but not all the way at the tip, Marie. But like maybe here. You know that what is that's a piatti etude. You see, I'm using a mixture of my wrist and also my fingers. Slow motion. Okay, great. Okay, so does anyone have any questions so far? I'm gonna move back a little bit because actually I'm like in front of my microphone. Everybody can still see me okay this far, right? Does anyone have questions? You can ask Lonnie by the chat or unmute yourself. Raise your hand to unmute yourself. Marie has a question. Lonnie, can you unmute?
Okay, I'm
There she is.
unmuted now. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I wondered if you had any suggestions for right arm tension, because I notice sometimes doing certain exercises or things, I get kind of tense in the hand, and I've heard that from other cellists too. And I wondered if you had any suggestions for that.
Okay, are you talking about in general or specifically when you're doing this, you felt tension?
Not so much with this, but in general, you know, when moving up and across the strings or just, you know, it's sometimes right in here. So I just wondered if you'd encountered that.
Well, maybe the next things, I have a few things that I'm going to go through that one of the things might help. But actually and I'll address that about hand tension. But I was actually asking if anyone has any questions about this thing that we're talking about specifically.
Okay.
No worries, I'll address you, Marie, a little bit later because I think there's an exercise that may help you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. But does anyone have any questions about what I've talked about so far specifically? About all the exercises? I feel like someone is it Soleil? Soleil, yeah. I can't really hear you. Get a little closer, please. A little closer. Very soft.
Now?
Yes.
Could you slowly teach hand movement, please?
Oh, slower? Oops. Okay, so everybody, I'm going to come very close to you.
Sure.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let me get close. Don't be afraid. Sideways. Okay, but when you first do this, if it's hard, like I said, use a pen. And then this exercises, right? It's giving you flexibility, all of this. If you can do all this stuff like this with a pen, then you're really good. You see what I'm doing? Yeah, Soleil, is that clear? Okay. I think we're good for now, right? Everybody good? What?
Slowly movement.
On the cello?
Yes.
Okay, so it's the same. First of all, don't ever play fast stuff like that at the frog. That's never gonna work. Go to here. It's that motion that I showed you, right? you're not just going to use your fingers, you're also using a little bit of wrist motion. So it's a combination of both. Do you guys see that? Do you see that I'm using a combination of fingers and wrist? Yeah, you see that, right? So I'm not just doing that, but I'm not just doing that. It's a combination of both. And then raise fast. So, okay, listen. If you don't get it today, don't worry. But just remember, first, do these exercises, which will give your hand flexibility, right? And then just remember, if you want to do something like this, like that passage at what is it? Divorce. So look, I'm doing wrist and a little bit of fingers, but mostly wrist. It depends on the situation, right? Because this is really fast. This is faster than what I just played. Okay, so it depends. So, like I said, don't worry if you don't get it, but just know that when you have to do something fast like that, it's a combination of wrist and fingers. And you have to just practice those exercises and get your fingers flexible, and then your body will find a way. So don't worry if you don't get it right away, okay? But this is just a little, how do I say this? Just a little taste.
Wendy, Tess has a question for you.
Okay, Tess.
With string crossing. I have chronic pain.
I can't hear Tess anymore.
Okay, I was just unmuted again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Wonderful. So I have chronic pain specifically in my torso, like basically from my lower back up to my shoulders. And I have a very relaxed bow grip and like relaxed arm, but I find when I'm doing string crossing specifically, like for example, in the third Bach suite, the prelude, I find that like I get a lot of tension in my shoulder and my upper arm, even though I'm relying on my wrist and my fingers. And I was wondering if there is anything that I can do to alleviate that when I'm doing string crossings.
Yeah. And that goes back to Marie also had a question, right? Both of you have questions about tension, but you, Tess, you're talking about tension in the shoulder, and I think Marie was talking about tension in the hand, right? So, this is a difficult thing to answer unless I see you individually play, because and then see what you're doing, then maybe I can help figure it out. But in general, you have to think about your body as, how to explain, including your arm, both arms, but you have a solid form. So there's a form. You can't. So, okay, rewind. So a lot of times when people tell you, just relax, right? What happens is when I tell students to relax, they have everything collapsed. I'm like, relax, and everybody goes like this. That happens a lot. Okay, so you have to have a solid form. You're standing, or rather sitting, tall. I call it chicken wing. So this can't be collapsed because you can't make sounds. You have to have this form. Everything has to form. You know what I mean by form? Like a form, right? So it can't be collapsed. So you have to have a relaxed form. And then also feel that in terms of the right hand, but that also goes with the left hand because it's all connected. Everything comes from the back. The back. Right here. You're smiling, Tess. Why are you smiling? Hasn't somebody else told you that? Right. So it has to, so form, relax, but then everything comes from, well, your back, but also your torso, your body gives it that solidarity. Does that make sense? So I tell you relax, but relax with the form, and feeling like it's as if you can imagine a waterfall coming down. And also, does that help, Marie? Waterfall, okay? So you're when you're drawing the bow, also, like I said at the very beginning, don't draw the bow from the hand. It's not just the hand that is drawing the bow. So a lot of people, they try to create sounds by making it sound really big, by forcing the sound, or by doing something unnatural like this. You see what I'm doing? When you draw the sound, this is why I call it draw, because you're just really going sideways. Think of the bow arm as more sideways than vertical, because the vertical is your natural weight. Because what we're trying to do is take advantage of our body and gravity combined. So when I draw the sound, all the weight is coming from the back, like the waterfall, but I have a form, so it's not collapsed. I'm relaxed. There's a form, and I'm drawing this way. Can everybody try that on the cello? Just think about the waterfall with the form, nice form. Don't grip your bow. You don't need to grip. Trust that you only need enough holding. Don't grip. We shouldn't even call it bow grip, because when I think about grip, it's like this, right? So think about just holding it enough so that the bow is not falling in the ground. You're just holding it. Everything comes from the back. You're sitting very tall, and you're drawing this way. Try that. See if that makes a difference to your sound. Experiment. Lonnie, somebody's in the waiting room. Okay, so, all right, let's move on for now, because I still have quite a few things to share. Okay, so, bow control. This will also help you. So one of the best ways to really learn how to control your bow is this game called How Long Can You Hold One Bow? So let's do it right now. Let's see who's gonna win. Not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be me. We're gonna draw one bow, and we're gonna try to make it sound uninterrupted from here to here for as long as possible. Are you guys ready? Okay, this is how you're gonna learn how to bow control. And the reason why this exercise is so powerful is because you have to constantly adjust how you're moving the bow, how much weight you're putting in. If you're too tense, the bow's gonna shake, right? So this is how we're gonna learn. Somebody is in the waiting room. Lonnie?
Okay. Hi, I'm still here. Their name isn't on the list, so I'm not letting in anybody who is not on the list.
Can you just check and see, because nobody should have check and see who they are. Just see. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready for this long bow competition? It's not really a competition, but maybe it is. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Mine is not that good. Look, it's kind of shaky. I'm out of practice. Tess is out. Body is out. Some people are still going. Do it again! See if you can make it longer. I'm about to be out. I think I used to be better before. I gotta keep practicing. Still moving. It's soft. I don't have enough rosin at the end. That's about it for me. Okay. What do people notice from this exercise? Unmute yourself. Somebody raise your hand. Anna Maria, you want to share? What did you notice? What did you learn?
That like my bow kept on stopping, like when
It got stuck, right?
Yeah, it got stuck.
Okay, anybody else wants to share how that experiment was? Theodore?
The note when you're holding it soft, it doesn't sound good because, like she said, it keeps on stopping.
It kept stopping. Okay, so we got to figure out how to make it not stop. Anyone else wants to share? Anne. Anne, you have your hand raised. You're muted though. Unmute yourself. Oh, it's
There.
Tahira.
There.
Yes, Anne?
As I got further out, I had to use more weight.
Interesting.
Felt like or had to put more pressure or something. It changed.
Yeah.
As I was further out.
Interesting. So we're learning something, huh? Does anyone else want to share? And Alani, please admit that person is Tahira, is our teacher. Thank you.
Yeah, she's in.
Walter? Walter, you have your hand raised. You want to share? Unmute yourself, please. I think we're going to get really good at this mute and unmute business. Yes,
Yeah,
Walter.
Well, mainly I think it's an exercise of trying to adjust your gravity when you're pulling, because I always hear that you always use your gravity and use your natural weight to pull the bow.
Yes. So you have to make adjustments. I mean, even I did. I have to make adjustments to my arm. I have to keep it moving. Like my hand has to be not holding it too tightly, etc. So why don't we do it one more time? Okay, let's do it one more time. And this time it's not so much about how long you can wait, or rather how long you can play, which is also fine, but let's see what adjustments during the bow hole, what adjustments in your body that you need to make to, one, not get it stuck like some of us said, two, working with the gravity, three, keep it moving, right? Which is number one, really. But you might also actually need to adjust your hand and hold certain fingers a little bit more, lift your hand, etc. So let's try that. Okay, let's do D string this time. Are you guys ready? 1, 2, 3. Mine got stuck too. I need to practice this more myself. There we go. Okay, any other reflections and feedback about that? Yeah, this is really good to do. Do this every day. Your bow is gonna get so much better. Oh my gosh, you know what? I forgot to teach you one thing for the strength training. Okay, it's what I call climbing monkey. Okay, this way, everybody. Okay, climbing monkey. You say that's pretty easy. It's pretty easy because you know why? Gravity is on your side. But now try it backwards. That's not so easy. And guess what we're training? We're training your pinky. Heather, you're still on the other side. Yes. Okay, like I said, this one is really easy, right? Going down, because gravity's on your side. Now let's try pinky push up. Oh, that's hard. Hard. You can really see you building strength, right? Try to use your pinky though, and push this way with your pinky and ring finger, like that. Can you do it? Beth raised her hand. Beth, do you have a question? Where's Beth?
Yeah, I was going back to the playing on the string.
Huh?
I find that sometimes it's easier to play longer if I'm closer to the bridge. Is that the case?
You can play longer, like the long hold you're talking about?
Yeah, long hold.
If it's closer to the bridge, it's easier? Is
Yeah,
that true?
not super close to the bridge, but just because of the tension, you don't have to push quite as hard, and you're using the natural tension of the string.
Yeah.
And so everything is more relaxed, and you can. I find that it's easier to go a lot longer when I'm closer to the string, versus or closer to the bridge than closer to the fingerboard.
That's thank you so much for sharing, Beth, because that's a very good point, and that also teaches you what's a good spot on the string to play, right? Because as Beth is saying, the closer you're to the bridge, the more tension it creates, and that also teaches you something about placement, where you need to play. Now, for me, since we're talking about that, I'm sorry, I'm just going to check for 1 second. Lonnie's texting me. I hope that everything's working properly with the tech. Okay. All right, great, thank you. She's checking me in to say that I have a few people that are not supposed to be in the group. And so that's why I have her helping me. Okay, we're good now. What are we talking about? Sorry, I just got distracted. Oh, we're talking about longbows. Sorry, I got distracted. What were we talking about, Beth? We were talking about closer to the... Oh, right, I got it, okay. Okay, so guys, look, this entire area is big. When do you know where to play, right? In the bow. Now, there are times I'm going to play closer to the fingerboard for tone color purposes. And then there's also, like, when there's especially new music, when you have to play really close to the bridge. Sopan, let's go sopan. Special technique. Sounds like this. And by the way, actually, that's another bow exercise. Let's do it together. This exercise is great because it teaches your bow to move exactly what Beth was saying. It makes it move much faster. So, but we're gonna get really crazy and make sure you get a crazy sounding sopan sound, which means you're literally right on top of the bridge. It should sound like this. Okay, so now how is this gonna help you? This is an exercise. Is that it will make you move the bow faster. And sometimes what happens to students, and even to me, is that we get so hung up with what's happening with the left hand, all this crazy hard stuff that we have to do, or that we have these hard things going on and our bow gets stuck. So the thing is, I already told you, the bow is about drawing. We're drawing to make sounds. It's a combination of our weight and us drawing in order to make sounds, right? So, this exercise will help us just move the bow. So, I want everybody to play a piece that you're currently working on. It doesn't matter what, but play it very close to the bridge. Like this. I'll play Bach's Suite like this. So it's going to sound really not so good in your ears if you want to turn me down. But this is a great exercise to help you keep the bow moving. Okay, like this. Listen, it sounds terrible, but actually don't listen to me. You do your own thing, but this is, well, okay, listen for 1 second and then you can do your exercise. So it should sound like this. But do you see how fast I'm moving my bow? This is just to teach your right hand to keep it moving. So now do your favorite song or the piece you're working on, play it very close to the bridge, and the object is to keep the bow moving. Keep it moving, okay? I'll give you a few minutes and I'll look and see you're on the bridge. On the bridge. Okay, don't let it get to the middle. On the bridge the entire time. Okay, I'm gonna go to page 2. right. Okay. Let me know that you're finished by if you stop playing, then I'll know that you're finished. Okay. All right, so does anyone want to give me some reflection on what you noticed about this exercise? I haven't heard from you, Catherine. Catherine, do you want to share with us what you noticed about that exercise? No? Okay, what about, I'm going to start calling on people now. Heather, what did you notice about that exercise?
Just that you had to use a very light pressure and keep the bow moving quite fast.
Yeah, and what did you learn, like, in terms of, like, how you can incorporate that into your normal like normal, not on the string playing, on the bridge playing?
Well, I think there's it gives you a sense of effortlessness in a way, and you can strive for that possibly when you do play pieces.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for sharing, Heather. So now let's do an experiment. Now that we've played on the bridge, play the same piece or the same song again. Now play it normally, and then report back to me how that has changed your playing. Okay, just like about a minute. Try it out. Oh, that's my dad. Okay. Okay. Does anyone want to share how that feels different now that you've had the experience of playing Close to Bridge the first time? Lonnie, can you see who wants to share?
Yeah, everybody can unmute themselves if they'd like to share. I have it set to let you guys unmute yourselves.
Nobody wants. I'm going to start calling on people. I feel like Benjamin's trying to unmute himself. Benjamin, you want to share?
Hi.
There you are. Yeah.
I'm writing a message. I don't speak a fine Spanish.
That's all right.
English. I mean.
You want to say it and then have Ileana translate for you?
I think so much in the Romanian folk dance with all this. It's a fine piece to practice control bow.
So you're saying that the piece that which piece is a good bow control piece?
The Romanian folk dances by Bartok.
Oh, okay. Great.
It has ponticello.
Oh.
And another technique is so ad hoc. It's ad hoc.
Okay, so yeah, so it has ponticello, so it's good to practice the Bartok. Okay, excellent, thank you. Does anyone else wants to share how that experiment was to play from the bridge and then to play normally?
Hi, I'll share a little bit.
Okay, thank you.
I normally, when I start playing faster, I start gripping harder. If that, so after playing on the bridge, I was a little bit more loose, a little more airy.
Interesting.
That helped with the tendinitis, you know.
Oh, tension. Okay, so sounds like that's something that people really struggle with in terms of tension, right? Okay, great. So for who was it that asked? Marie, and who was the other person who asked about tension? Tess. Yeah. So maybe you guys can experiment with that more, playing closer to the bridge, and see if that helps with the tension. That's great. Thank you. All right. So somebody else also.
Soleil,
Soleil?
do you have a question? Come a little closer, Soleil.
Sorry?
Come closer. We can't hear you.
Now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Oh, I did not understand what that's the point in this exercise. This is to improve the movement on the ball in the cello.
Okay. Hold on. Somebody is not muted. So that's only one person at a time, if that's okay. Okay. So Soleil, your question is, you don't understand the purpose of playing close to the bridge, right? Is that your question?
This is to improve the movement in the cello.
Okay.
Is it to build movement in the cello? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, yes. So what I'm saying is because when you play closer to the bridge, you have to move the bow in order to create that sound. So what we're trying to learn from that experience is how to play with more movement so that you move more, because a lot of times when we play normally or in a normal spot, we get stuck. Yeah? Is that clear? Yeah? Okay, great. Thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, so, oh my gosh.
I have a question.
Yeah? Who has a question?
Me.
It's Ileana.
Ileana.
Ileana, yes.
So I have, well, I was doing this exercise and I really like it because it keeps my bow flowing, so I don't have to put excessive pressure on the string when I am playing like normally. So I find it really useful. So thank you for it. And I have another question about the other exercises with the bow that we were doing. And my question is, where exactly is the strength in the little finger?
I'm glad you asked, because that's going to be my next topic. Where exactly is the strength? So, thank you for asking, which leads me to the next thing. So now, this is our next exercise. Is that all the fingers, okay? And who was it that talked about this? Patrick. We talked about this in our lesson, right? On our very first lesson, we talked about this because, and I think this is a game changer. When I learned this exercise, game changer. Okay, so what happens is a lot of times, most of us will have different amount of how do I say it? Like we use different amount of bow grip on different fingers. Some people end up using most of their bow grip on just these two fingers, and they're barely using the pinky. I think that's the case with Patrick. He wasn't using his pinky, which is a waste because we have 5 fingers. We want to use them all so that we can make the best sound. Okay. So, and sometimes some people, well, this is the most common, is that people end up using just these fingers and they're not really utilizing the pinky and the ring finger to help them with the weight. Okay, so this is what I suggest. First, let's do an exercise where we can take off the middle finger and the ring finger. So you're just only holding the bow with what? Index finger, pinky, and your thumb. Let's play just some, let's say G strings. Open G. Try it. Good, right, guys? That was relatively okay. All right, so now let's try a little bit harder, next level stuff. Only use these 2 middle fingers. Make sure your index and your pinky are off. Let's go. more challenging. All right, next combination, index and ring finger. Actually, this one is probably easier. Okay, now, this is pretty hard. Middle finger and pinky. Everything else sticking out. Ready? This is hard. Okay, now the hardest one. Are you ready? Ring finger and pinky only. This is really hard. Oh, even I have a hard time doing this one. This is really hard. Do your best. Do your best. I see Benjamin's fingers trying to. Let me see. Okay, I can barely do it. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, this is hard. I see Matt smiling. He's not even trying. Matt is like, not happening. Try. Do your best. It's really hard, but do your best. Find a way. Find a way to make it work. Okay, so any reflection on what that taught you? Oh, actually, sorry. No, not yet. No questions yet. Now, do it like normal. All 5 fingers on the bow. See how that feels. Okay, now reflections. What did you learn from that little experiment? And that should answer, who was it that asked me a question? Somebody asked me. Was it Beth? No, who was it? Somebody asked me a question about the, oh, it was Natalie. Okay, so was it Natalie? You were the one, no, it wasn't you, sorry. Somebody asked me a question earlier and I said that's a perfect segue. But regardless, does anyone want to reflect on what that just taught you, that little experiment?
Me,
Beth?
I felt, oh well.
Go ahead, Beth.
Yeah, I
Yes.
felt like that the fingers were more like you could feel that each one was doing its job, as opposed to just like the hand with the fingers attached. It felt like each finger now had a place and more of a participation in the bow.
Yeah, exactly. So what that exercise was supposed to do is to teach each of your finger to work and not any of them be lazy. And in this experiment, it teaches you how to utilize all your fingers. So now, when you do use all 5 fingers, it's like, my God, is this easy? Your sound automatically just improves by itself. Just by doing this exercise alone, even my sound just now having done all this, it improved because now I just taught some of my fingers that were not doing as much work to do more work. Okay, so every finger is very important. You want to utilize, basically the idea that I'm trying to teach is that we need to use all our resources. The cello is a big instrument, especially for someone like me. I'm 5'2". I'm not that tall. It's a big instrument. It even looks big on me. So I have to find a way so that I'm relaxed and utilize my body parts, which have natural weight, without forcing, because as soon as you start forcing sound or, trying to press or anything like that, you're gonna build tension in your body. So I'm trying to utilize especially gravity. Again, gravity is our friend for cellists. So form and gravity. So this form right here, this has a natural form. When you're utilizing all your fingers, when you have a form and you draw the bow, beautiful sound. And that's it. Okay, guys, I have to keep moving because it's already 10:35, and we do have 2 people who are supposed to play for me. So, okay, I think I went through most of the things already. Longbow, straight. Oh, I'm just gonna do this one really quick. Okay, so I'm gonna leave questions for later because we're running kind of out of time. So, straight bow. I know a lot of you want to know how to have a straight bow, right? Raise your hand. I know Carla has been asking me about that, right, Carla? Is she still here? Anyway, here, I'll give you 2 exercises for straight bow. One is, you can do it with me now. Go from the frog. Go to the tip. Really fast. Okay, so when you do this, look at your point of contact. Make sure it's in the same place. You can even put your finger there. When you're moving fast like that, guess what happens? You have no choice but to move. You have no choice but to be straight, is what I meant. Your bow has to be straight, because you can't be crooked to move. It just forces you to be straight. Just try to do it on the same point, if you can. Do you see how my bow is straight? Try it on preferably D or G string. D or G string. Okay, everybody got that? Okay, the last one is my props here. Toilet paper method. If you guys haven't seen my video, you should. This is before the pandemic. I already taught people how to do this. So during pandemic, I guess nobody did the toilet paper exercise. Because here in the United States, we had a shortage of toilet paper. Anyway, okay, if you don't have the toilet paper roll, that's fine. You can get it later. Okay, so find one of these toilet paper rolls, the ones that are used. Put it on your strings. Flip your bow backwards. Put your bow in there. And you draw the bow. Guess what? The toilet paper is going to keep your bow being straight. Straight bow. You see what I'm doing? Yeah? Okay, so that's a good exercise. And then you should move to the C string, for example, because the angle is different. You see how the angle changes on different strings? Okay, so this is one, and then this is another one. Okay? All right. Okay, so I think that's it for now. I have a little bit more advanced technique I'm just going to go over real quick because this is not something, honestly, especially for intermediate or beginners, it's not something that you can learn immediately, but it's good for you to just know how it works mechanically, so when the time comes to learn, you will have some basic knowledge, okay? So this is advanced technique. Okay, let's talk about first spiccato. Where do we use this? Oftentimes. Etc. So you cannot bounce here. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna bounce here. You have to find that sweet spot, the perfect spot. It's usually about 2/3 of the bow here. It's around here. That's the best spot. And the first step is everybody try bouncing the bow like this, up and down. Find that sweet spot I talked about is about 2/3. Like that. Now start moving back and forth, meaning sideways. That's the beginning of your staccato. Now get a little faster. Now keep your hand loose, so it's a little bit of wrist motion now. Slow motion, faster, wrist is moving. Wrist is all wrist. You see how I'm moving my wrist, right? This arm right here, the elbow has to be high in order for this to work. What piece is the Elgar? Do you guys see my wrist? elbow has to be high. It's this motion, this bouncing motion, but back and forth. All right, like I said, this is not something that can be taught in 5 minutes, but you have a basic idea of how this operates. You can experiment if you want to, but that's probably like a more advanced class. One last thing before I listen to people. Another advanced technique. Again, don't feel bad if you don't get it. This can take months to learn. Uphold staccato. Where is Heather still here? Where's Heather? There she is, because we were talking about that, right? So, first, get to near the tip, not all the way to the tip, maybe around here. Okay, step 1. Then, flip the bow so that is towards me. This way, towards me. So, use more hair like this. You see what I just did? Okay, normally we play like this. We're gonna do more like this way. Do you see it? Okay, again, don't feel bad if you don't get this today, just to get an idea. This is very advanced. So how you do it is by stopping and starting. Try that, all elbow. Okay, now how do you stop? You're using a lot of times the pinky. Okay, so now, once you master that, then, and this takes time, guys. Just really don't feel bad if you don't get it today, nor tomorrow, nor next week, nor next month. Okay, this took me a long time to get, but I just want you to have a little taste that that's how it works mechanically. Is that you're starting and stopping, and you have to roll the hand this way. So you're using more of the bow, and you have more control with your pinky, which is helping with the stopping motion, and you're also doing this, stop and start. Okay, all right, so I think that's enough. Do you have any last minute questions? Because we are already 11:15 a.m. in New York City, because I do need to hear Carla. And I also need to listen to Roy. Oh, you're here. So you can play live if you like. It's up to you. Because she also sent me a pre-recorded video. It's up to you. Okay, so any last minute questions before I move on? I think that's a lot, guys. I try to give you everything that I can think of for the right hand. Do you guys have any? Are you good? You feel good? All thumbs up? Okay, Lonnie, do you see all thumbs up? Because I can't see both pages. Mostly thumbs up, I see. Excellent. Okay,
yes,
so
all good.
We're gonna move on. Is Carla here? Let's see where she is. Carla? I don't see Carla. She's. Where's Carla?
Hello?
Yes?
She's here.
I can see you.
Okay, excellent. But why don't I see her?
That's probably my computer. Who knows?
Oh, I do see you now.
Oh, hi.
Okay, Carla, but we can't see your face.
Yeah, I can only see the cello.
Because you told me to lower the cello. So
Oh, okay. Do me a favor. Can you now move back a little bit so I can see you?
No.
Looks, it's a small room.
It's a small room.
Oh, wait a minute. I have kitty litter behind me. I should have moved my kitty litter out the way.
Okay, Carla, what are you going to play for us today? Okay, her image is kind of stuck.
It looks like she froze.
Carla? Do you want us to come back to you maybe, Carla? Because your image froze. Okay, maybe we can go to Roy first. Do you want to... Here, I'm unmuting you.
Roy said she didn't want to play live.
You don't want to play live?
I can't play live. It's too late. I will
Oh.
wake everybody up.
It's 12:30 a.m. in Australia right now. And where are
yes,
you? Are you
Sydney.
in Melbourne, right? Is it Melbourne?
I'm in Sydney.
Sydney, sorry, Sydney. Okay. All right, so but you're here, which is good because then I can give you feedback. And by the way, that's Lucky the cat. If anyone's Okay, so
Yes, there all the time.
all right, so Carla, if you can still hear us, we still want to hear you.
She actually disconnected. I'll admit her when she comes back.
Okay, so we're gonna listen to Carla later. Let's listen to Roy first. She has a prepared video. So I am going to figure out now how to share this video in just a second. Okay, share screen, here we go. And you can see my screen, right, everybody? Okay, so I think your video's here, along with all your folk project. And again, I'm missing some people. Okay, this right here, I think is her. Pre-recorded. Isn't technology just absolutely amazing that we can do this? Now, how can I make it so that it's not like that? Let's try that. There we go. Okay, everybody can see, right? Lonnie, am I good?
Yes, you are.
Okay, so now I'm going to adjust the volume. And Lonnie, please tell me if it's too loud or too soft, okay?
All right.
I'm going to have it halfway. So let's listen. This is, Roy, can you tell us what piece this is? It's Vivaldi, right?
Yeah, this is a Vivaldi concerto in C major, and this is the first movement.
Okay.
I'm not the best player, but
don't worry.
But I tried my best.
We're not here to judge. We're here to help and support. Okay,
Cool.
That's really important for all of us to know. I already said that at the beginning, but I'm saying this again. Support only. Okay. Just a show of hands. Has anyone else played this Vivaldi, please? Nobody else has? I haven't either. I actually don't know this piece very well. Okay, so we're all gonna listen to it for first time. Okay, I'm gonna hide this over here, so I'm good, right, Lonnie?
You are good. I will let you know if it's too loud.
Here we go.
Hey, we're not getting your audio from your computer. Make sure you enable it.
Okay, this is why I have Lonnie here. Now, how do we do that?
Like how you did it yesterday, where you said play audio from computer.
Okay, give me a sec, everybody, please. Here it is. Thank you. This should work. I'm gonna turn off my microphone now. Okay, Lonnie, let me know if you hear this, please.
Okay. Yep, it's good.
We're gonna start from beginning. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. All right, yay! Give her a hand, everybody. Yes, bravo, Rory. Thank you. Okay, so give me a second while I stop the screen share. Okay, I'm back. Everybody can hear me, right? Okay, this is recording. Good. Okay. All right, Roy. Let me just make sure I can see you here. Hi. Okay, great. Thank you so much for playing for us and being brave enough to be the first guinea pig. Okay, so a lot of great things. Now, what I'm going to try to do is I want to focus on things that we're talking about today, which is more on the right hand. So I think one thing, well, first of all, really good playing. And one thing that I noticed, and I think this will also be beneficial for everybody else who's listening here, is that when you have fast notes like 16th notes, right? Like, I don't know the piece of it, I just remember this part. Something like that, right? So what happens is if, what I notice about your arm is that you're using only this motion. Da, 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 right? Did anyone else notice that? So what happens when you only do this motion, which is a little bit robotic? It sounds unnatural. So what I would suggest that you do that would make that part better is, first of all, and this is something that we haven't talked about, which is bow distribution and where you place your bow. A little bit. I talked about a lot of times you don't, especially when it comes to fast passages, this is for everybody and for you, never play the frog. That doesn't sound good, right? So especially fast passages with 16th notes, we want to put more, we want to play more towards like around here. I would say at least in the middle of the bow or 2/3 into the way. Okay, so that will make it sound more natural, less robotic, and also not like this. You weren't doing that at all, just by the way. I'm just trying to illustrate that, you know, you shouldn't play all the frog, because that's going to sound like that. So, but you were doing maybe like around here, I think. So you could move it out a little bit more. So there are a lot of those passages in Vivaldi, so you can just keep it moving. And here, your motion. What's happening with, oh, can you guys see, or is my stand, maybe it's blocking it. Okay, so with your motion, this is your motion. So now we want it to be a little bit more relaxed. So we want to use this part of the forearm, right? That's what it's called, right? Forearm? Okay, so you weren't using that at all. You were only moving like this. Okay, so I actually want everybody to try that on the cello. Just try some notes like that. Okay, let's just try, let's copy. Okay, Rory, I hope you don't mind. We're going to try to copy what you did in the video together, just as an experiment. So we're not going to move the forearm at all, but we are going to move it out here, this around here, okay? So just try some fast notes on one note and just try to move like that. You see how it's restricting that is, right? Can everybody feel that? I can't really see everybody, but that's really restricting, okay? It doesn't feel good. And also, for those of you who asked about tension, that's definitely going to give you tension. Definitely. So now, let's try to combine this motion, which is fine, with a little bit of forearm motion. So this is what I mean. Everybody do that for a second. Right? This is forearm motion. So we want a little bit, a combination. Like I said with cello playing, it's not just one or the other. It's a combination of things. So I would say here, you're using a little bit of this original motion that Roy had, but also this forearm motion. You see this? Kind of like, so can, you can't play Roy, right? Because, but you can just pretend to play. Okay, so let's everybody try now the same thing. Use a little bit more forearm and see what happens. Okay, but see, Rory, I see that you're not using that now. So try a combination of both. So. Whatever the notes are. So you guys just look at what I'm doing and try to copy what I'm doing. So this can't be like this, guys. If your elbow is down, it's not going to help. Chicken wing. This is where you really do need to chicken wing. So you need that motion from the elbow, but then a little bit of forearm. Okay, so Rory, just try to experiment with that when you can actually play, because I know you're pretending to play in your house in Australia at like 1 in the morning, almost. Okay, all right, so that's one thing I noticed. So you guys can experiment. Just remember, when you're playing fast, don't play the frog. Find a sweet spot around here and use a combination of your arm and your forearm. That's how you're going to play fast. Right? If I only did what you did originally, which is what motion is this? I don't even know. Like, yeah. So remember, not just that, combination. So you got to figure out that combination. Okay, so that's thing number one. Thing number two. You had a passage that was, I don't remember it, but it requires some string crossings. I forget, what was it? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I'm just going to make up a string crossing passage that I remember seeing. Okay, so people, when they have string crossings, what we want to do is keep both strings, when you're playing with the bow, as close as possible. As close as possible. We don't want to go, here, I'll use an example from Bach. You see what I'm doing wrong? It's so far away from each other, like. So we're trying to eliminate unnecessary motion. So A and D string, the best way to practice any string crossing passages, pretend you're playing both strings at the same time. So this is how we practice Bach, for example. Okay, you're playing both strings at the same time. But boy, you know which passage I'm talking about, right? There's one little passage where, yeah, there's these string crossings. Okay, so then after you practice both at the same time, then you play them separately, but it's almost like you're playing both strings at the same time. You keep it close. Maybe at first you are playing both at the same time. But then you separate them. You see how close I keep it? Now I separate a little bit more. I'm not gonna go. That's extra motion. It's gonna make it sound clumsy. You want it to be neat, close together. So string crossings, people, keep it close. Practice as if. No, not practice. Just practice with both strings at the same time. And then afterwards, it's almost like they're just touching each other. One is touching the other. Your bow is just kissing the other string. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so guys, I have to honor your time. It's already 11 a.m. So if people need to go, I understand, but I'm gonna stay a little bit longer because I have to listen to Carla. But you, of course, you should stay if you want to stay. But if people need to go, I understand. Okay, so Roy, do you have any questions? Because I have to move on to Carla now. Good. All right, great. Is Carla back, Lonnie?
She's not back yet. No.
Okay, so I wonder if she has a connection issue. or maybe we have to listen to her another time.
Yeah, I haven't seen her come back into the waiting room this whole
Okay.
time.
All right. Okay. So, does anyone have any questions for today's class? Because I think we're gonna end then. I'm gonna put it back to.
Do you want to go over some questions that I got in the chat, or do you want to do that? Save that.
Sure. I mean, maybe a couple because we're already running
Okay,
over.
there's only 3. So Roy asks for finger push-up, how much do I need use for my pinky?
How much do you use the pinky for the push-ups? Okay, so you absolutely should use the pinky. It ideally should be equal. All the fingers should have an equal job.
Hi, Wendy.
Yeah.
The reason why I ask it is that my pinky is quite short, and then that's why I asked that particular question. I always struggle with my pinky, and then since now like I exercise and now it's much stronger, but I still struggle. So I guess like the other exercise can help you improve the pinky muscle.
Yeah.
I found when you show us to do the push-up, like you can see my hand, like I feel like my pinky still struggle the most.
Yeah.
That's why I ask, how do I resolve that?
Just do your best. I see how your pinky is short. Mine is short too, but I think that's more the reason why you need to exercise your pinky. Maybe try doing combination of what we did, take out your middle fingers and do push-ups with just index and pinky and see how that works. Okay.
Cool. All right, thank you.
What's the other 2 questions, Lonnie?
So Ann Richards asks, can you show the monkey exercise close up in slow motion?
Okay, monkey exercise close up in slow motion, coming right up. Moving my chair up. Okay. Okay, this is the easy part. I'm gonna climb up. That's, you just basically moving this up and down, right? Okay, so but coming down is the hard part. That's when you really have to push with the last 3 fingers like that. Is that clear? Is that close enough to show?
All right, and the last question is from Marie Hammerling. Sometimes when I start playing before I am warmed up, I play very stiffly until I play a couple of scales. Is there a way to play up front with a smoother tone?
No. The answer is always warm up. The answer is warm up. And don't worry, we're gonna have a class I think we're gonna talk about warm-ups. Are we? Feel like we do, but yeah, we'll talk about that on day 5, probably on effective practice technique. So yeah, so yes, the answer is warm up is your friend, mirror is your friend. You can't just show up on cello and play Dvorak concerto. Nobody can, even Yo-Yo Ma cannot. You have to do the proper warm-ups, do exercises, do some scales, long tones that we talked about, right? And what else? Etudes. Yeah, there's no shortcut, you guys. Sorry. Hate to disappoint you. There's no shortcut to mastery. But even if you got 20% and really practice on 20% of the exercises that we did today, you're already a much better cellist. So don't be overwhelmed, I told you already, because I gave you everything that I could about the right hand that I could think of that I think would be beneficial for everybody for this class. So don't feel overwhelmed. Don't feel like you're not good enough for some reason. I gave you a heck lot of information in a very short amount of time. Okay, so just take it in, digest little by little. If you can do one exercise really well, that is fine. And then you try another one. And it takes time to master an instrument. Like I said, there's no shortcut. Okay, do we have any more questions?
No,
Otherwise,
that is it.
That is it. Are you guys good? Do you feel good? Feel good about first class? Did you get what you need? I hope. Yes? Okay, well then I will see you back here tomorrow. And I'll send you later on the recording. I hope it's recording. Oh God, I hope it is.
Yes, it's recording.
Okay, because like I can't, there's so much. I'm like trying to learn Zoom in 1 week and everything. But thank God, thank you, Lonnie, for helping me. And
No problem.
just double check with the Spanish speakers. Are you guys good? Ileana, everybody's good?
Yes, everybody's good. We just done like a WhatsApp group for questions and
Oh, good,
things.
perfect.
So
Okay.
we are communicating there.
Thank you.
But
Okay,
I
thank
think
you, thank you.
right now we are good.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day or good evening wherever you are.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.
Thanks
Bye.
for coming.
Bye.
Thank you.
So.
Bye.